Today I'm here with Michaela Kaiser from Germany, and I feel glad to have you in the space because I first met you in a feelings practitioner space, and yeah, really like honoring the space holding, like how you're space holding for clients and for people and for spaces and groups. And what I'm particularly interested in is one for you to introduce yourself briefly, how you got to where you got here, and then as a deepening into this context and also into the radically alive woman context. It's like what I would love to hear from you is like how has it been for you to awaken the healer, the feminine healer inside of you, and whether you even have a distinction about a woman healing versus a man healing and holding spaces for healing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Annika, for inviting me and having so precious question, and also having so much interest in being in the feelings practitioner world. So because it's really a treasure for me, and it was somehow like an eye-opening for me that feelings are really for the healing inside of our body too, because I came from physical body work. I'm a physiotherapist, and I discovered more and more about also other tools of healing, the wisdom of healing practitioners, so natural paths work. And I combined so many things, and I thought, okay, energetic work and also, yeah, medicine, like in a new way, is a way of treat people or to be with people. And to open the space more for the feeling was really amazing for me. It was like, now I have all 5 bodies alive. So my archetypal lineage is really, yeah, on fire in that. And yes, my being is female. And for me, it was a journey to discover that, because I was grown in a family where I was the first child, and my father wanted to have 4 children, and he only became 2 female, so my sister and me, 2 children, and somehow he saw in me also a boy, and I grew up also in both roles, and I learned a lot about fixing a wheel of a bicycle and run around in the ground as maybe boys would do it. And when I come into my puberty, I discovered, oh, I'm really have some behavior as a boy. And I really dived deep into my experience, how it is to have a female body, to go through this change. And I think my archetypal lineage was there too, because I really met people who brought me more and more awareness in that I somehow have had some resistance to really dive and come into my physical body, so to accept that I'm a woman. And so I also find people who for example give me some insights about the menstruation, about be really close to myself. For example, I have a sport teacher, I loved her so much, and we did some physical exercises to really sense ourselves. It was more like having a therapy around our bodies. So she really was so with us, and she gave us an experience of our inner rhythm, how it is living in my body. And so I opened more and more for that. And also in the touch of how I touch in my physiotherapist education, how I touch a male body and how I touch a female body, that the skin is totally different. And also somehow the space around a woman is a different one from a man. So I learned a lot through my whole way, becoming more and more a healer, because it was like an long longing for me to discover more and more around that. And what I see is that especially really women also visiting my space, and especially older women, it's really amazing that somehow my field is attracting them. And sometimes I ask myself, why is it like that? And I think it's about a deep sense in me that I have a natural behavior with my womb, with my experience or my appearance as a woman. And for example, I never took the pill for how it's called, Verhütung.
Contraception.
Thank you. Yes, and so because I felt like I want to have a natural rhythm, I want to experience myself. So, and to hear their questions, and also the young women when they are pregnant or when they are having changed in their lives. So from puberty to becoming a mother to maybe having some climate change, then climacterium. So the woman brought me their questions, and I also dived more and more deeper into who I am, what is happening in my body through my life. And so I really saw the wisdom of that we as a woman, we have a wonderful system of bringing all out of our body intoxications. Each month we are renewing ourselves so much. And also in the cycles of lives, that is kind of healing too, because it's really supporting how our body is working. So through the cycles of the years, through the cycles of the getting older, or maybe not in aging, more in having more experience. And there's a way of, that's it, to be a woman. So be nature. And for me, it's like, it's totally fitting together. That's healing. So there is no problem, because I have everything what I need. It's everything installed in me. And to bring it to more and more to the surface, to use the emotional healing is so precious, because it's also like discover or turn on or turn off the covers of myself to be more myself. So that's maybe the way how I found out that the female way is the natural cycle way of healing.
Mm-hmm. And you said something earlier about there is a sensation that you feel in yourself, or noticing that touching a female body and a male body is different. And I'm having the assumption that you learned that also through your inner world. And what is that you picked up? Like, when it's like just touching yourself, like how does that feel different, or what did you notice that might be different there?
Yeah, good question. It's somehow like, as you maybe perceived it from the outside, is like the woman body and the woman's skin is most of the time with less hairs and with a lot of more soft skin. So the whole skin is made for, so not so much adrenaline. So it's not so much having only direction and focus and intention. For example, each hair stands for the hormone system, for the adrenaline. And so if you have more and more hairs, there are more adrenaline in your veins somehow, or more you are more pushing and focusing, as most of the time the male body is going for more muscles, more strength. And so the whole outer touching experience is in that way. It's more calming, more resting, more being. And so the same is inside of me. It's like I need to expand to my more curves. So it's like bringing my breast out. So my breasts are in the front, and it's not depends on if they are big or small. It's like there is a connection to the world, and it's like with a nipple, there really is a connection to the outside, and so it's like I need to fill up more my whole space from my inside, the curves. And the men are something like vice versa. They are having the muscles and they have the strong and more hard skin. It's like they are leaning on their outside, as we say in possibility management. They have the space. They fill it up in only the walls, holding the walls, and we are expanding in that. So also our butt is in that form, and I really love that. Especially the African woman, they have the shape of that the butt is so much out, and they have such an appearance of womanhood there, because it's expanding their being, their whole form.
Thank you. I would like to hear more about the healing qualities as a woman, because in my experience well, in my experience and also in the past, or what runs through my ancestral line, is that this has been through witch hunts and whatever else happened in the past has been suppressed, or and then I suppressed it as a result of it not in my story not being welcomed. And I would love to hear from your own pathway around that, and also maybe working with other women that are entering the feelings practitioner world, what you've discovered or what you found, because I'm finding that I'm having qualities that I didn't know about, and yet when they come online and when I'm starting to bring these healing qualities forward, it feels so natural, as if it's always been there. And yeah, so I would love to hear from you, like how this has been and what you're discovering and what you're learning about with other women in that field.
Yeah, so that it is like you said it is so natural, and there's the big intuition of what is necessary. And most of the time the women are discovering it. For me it was like that, when somebody else is necessary, have some needs and some support in the outside. So for example, when a woman become a mother, so then there is a child and the unconditional love for the child, and even they have not studied or have no healer, for example, practice before, they know what to do with their child, and she will find the solution for her child. The mother, it's so in our hormone system that the oxytocin is there to keep the connection, and you will be guided somehow. And I think that's from your birth on there. It's a whole inner world of a knowledge from our ancestors, and also in you. How can I heal, and can I be with myself and find my ways? And it's like an inner treasure for women. It's like it's coming really from an inner source. And yes, it's most of the time it's cut from the emotional past, the past lives experience, or our history, and it's not gone. It's only undercover, or it's only sometimes still hidden. And what I perceived was, when women coming together and finding themselves and appreciating themselves as healers again, it's coming up, it pops up like seeds and like watering again, and it's flowering and blossoming. And like every woman shows her unique wisdom, and they become more and more also like an organism in that it's necessary to build up teams also, as I saw it in so much past life processes, that most of the time people, the female part was to create circles, and healing circles that women most of the time not really they are not healing only from themselves. So like as a lonely wolf, it was only about they need to hide themselves in the past. But if it was open and if it was acknowledged from maybe the villagers or so, then they built up and brought their wisdom together. And for example, one woman, she collected the plants and the other did the energetic wisdom, or another one knows how to fix a bone. And so they all brought their wisdom together. And I see that also in the feelings practitioner work as our trainer team and also in the participants, that it's really igniting when all of them are coming together again. And we really go for training again, or unleashing the powers which are in each of us. So it's really amazing to see that it's coming back.
Mm. Yeah, thank you. I feel a lot of joy hearing you say that. And this, it's like, you know, the village is happening in the healing, and it's then the healing that happens not also for the healers. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's really vice versa. Each client for me is really like some big gift, because I really learn each day from so many people. And also that I have a team around me. It's all women, and we are asking ourselves, so when we are having no longer ideas, we say, okay, can you look at the same client at the same time? And it's, when women come together, it's like a firework of ideas and what to do and how to hold space, and a lot of joy coming out of that.
If you were to talk to a woman that might have experienced, or I guess I assume that a lot of women in modern culture, in the patriarchy, have learned to be this more male-like version of themselves, like what you described, maybe not to the extent that you experienced, and yet I believe that this lives in every single woman, because this has been the survival mechanism in the patriarchy. And if you were to have a conversation with her, who would knock on your door and say, "Oh, I'm interested to be this healer, and I really don't know how it goes." Like, how would you respond? Like, what would be your steps, or some tools, or some ways to unleash that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the first thing is really, it's about herself. It's about that you as a woman take a stand for that you are a woman, so that you are this natural being, and bring your being more in front and say, hello, here I am. I'm unique, I'm that person. And also that it's about every sense, or so it's really about sensing, it's thinking, it's all our 5 senses are like doorways. So use each of them. Even it's weird, even it's crazy, most of the stuff is also more from the left brain, from the right brain, not from the left brain. And so it will be maybe chaotic, and start to speak that. And also, even it feels like lying or saying, oh, maybe it's only a fantasy, what I have in mind, or what is coming out of my intuition. I explain most of the time that the part where our brain knows there is a lie or something like the intuition, it's really close. And so when you were educated or so in the past, where during your childhood, you mix that. So because maybe people tell you that was not okay, or what you told us is maybe not working. So to bring that from apart from each other, so make a gap, it's really necessary to speak it, because the world will have a resonance on it. So you can feel it, then you will have a proof detector how it works. And to encourage that, it's most of the time the first door opener. So for example, close your eyelids and make a blind scan. It's super amazing to see how easy women have access to that world again when they're not only looking at it and searching for clarity in something and using all the other information what will come up, make a totally different reading to persons and going with the nonlinear first impulses to speak with person or to handle out of this wisdom. That would be the first thing to go, and then the other things most of the time come up. And the other thing is to be more slow. So to allow yourself to be. So for me, it's, for example, I have a really wonderful trainer colleague. She is Sonja Villaret, also in possibility management. And most of the time when I saw her space holding for trainings, it's that she sat there and she sat and breathed. And the whole space was so full of emotional healing at the same time. And she was there with her whole presence in her calmness. And when it was necessary, she brought in her anger, but only at the specific spot as it is. Only the small necessities, what is to say or what is to do. And that's female style. So the time you will find your rhythm and the time in when is your voice needed, when is your hand necessary, when do you need to invent something. And so as you are or we are Gaia, so there will be guidance, there is support, and it's like hacking into that or unleashing and coming back to that force. So it is you.
And as I heard you say before, which would be then a third phase, is really surround yourself with a woman that also can give you that feedback and providing that space to speak into. Like I've experienced this myself, having been with women for the last 6 to 8 weeks now. It's like the medicine of surrounding yourself with woman as a woman is not to be underestimated. And in the past, I would have maybe had one-on-one connection, or I would have given my center away to the person I was in a primary relationship with, and to really, it's like almost like switching something around in my inner construct. It's like this is actually like what I'm recognizing at the moment. This is what I'm taking a stand for first: to be a woman in a woman's circle and in a team of women and collaborate, and everything else is a secondary, comes after.
Yes, as it was in the moon cycles, that the women come together and have that at the same moment their cycle, and they are like having their rhythm and playing their music on Earth. Yes, to find out, okay, what is now necessary. And as you said, each of us women are medicine for each other. So yeah, thank you that you say that. Yes, I think it's the most important thing to relate first to myself. And when I look, so like my form is fitting in the other form of a woman, and so we are creating the wholeness somehow. There are no straight lines. It's like puzzle pieces. Bring the whole picture first together, and then you can read the details, as it is more the male part.
I have one last territory that I want to explore with you, and it's because you brought it at the beginning, and because I also have a personal interest in it, and that is to do with women birthing and women being pregnant. And I don't I don't have a direct question, I believe, but it's like this, like you brought this as a piece. This is what is innate to us as a woman, and how does that connect to being a healer, and how does it connect to like if I invoke this healer in myself as a woman that can give birth. And in some ways it's not just related to the to the, you know, to the physical birth that we give, but also the creation that we unfold every moment, because it's alive in us naturally anyway. And how would you link that up with the healer in ourselves? Like what comes alive in you around that?
Yeah, thank you that you said it's not really only becoming a mother through a child. It's really the thing that we have a womb, and it's so amazing that we are building up every month a whole living room there. We are building up, we are painting our walls, we're making everything fine that somebody could move in. And then in the same month, we ruin everything. We say, okay, it's over. We say, not longer we will invite a person. No guest will be here. So we have both. We are the builder and the destroyer, as it is in healing. So there is something to build up. Something is to, you know, a wound needs to be healed from the inside, the skin. And at the same time, something needs to die. So it's really the dying and resurrection show that is part of our life. And so we are so connected to that we are, yeah, feeling it each month. So when it's pure healing in the bigger picture and also in the small pieces of it. And that's really special female. Yeah, it's not comparable as the man, it's totally different. And we are so close to it, and yes, and then holding it for a longer period, so creating something that stays over months and hold a project and having the overview is also healing. So especially in the chronic diseases, you need to have a long breath, something long breath. So because it's a lot of things what come together, what is necessary to be healed. So multifactories. And so that's also female. So see the whole thing and stay there and be and keep it. So that can grow and then again transform. So it's also in healer ability to hold longer spaces, and it's not only for a minute or only for an hour. So have an overview is also female.
Before I close, I would love to hear from you how you might link this to aliveness, like as a woman, you know, connecting with your healing qualities and your emotional body and your physical body, and the ability to, I mean, I'm answering my own question in some ways, and I'm also interested to hear what you've got to say about this. Is like this uh this wonder, I guess, that we're incarnated in this physical body, and making the connection through the emotional body to connect with my physical body is what I find is bringing this aliveness. It's like, oh wow, like I'm feeling what I'm sensing in here while I'm on this earth somehow. And
Yes.
I'm only touching this because I'm new to this work, and so I'm interested to hear what you found, or how does this alive in you.
Yeah, so as you express it already, it's high level fun. And it is so, it's somehow like a multiversum coming together. I really love Doctor Strange there. The whole movie is showing it. It's like one touch and every single layer of the universe is showing up. And it's my whole body carries it, and it's all connected to the bigger circle and bigger outside in universe. And so I'm on fire in that. So, and I'm curious about how I will go through my change when I got a wiser woman. If I need to choose to have fire from to outside, or if it's really working, then when I heal or be my healer for my inside, that I maybe don't need to have fire. And I don't know that. It's really like a research in that. What is necessary so that the woman can hold her fire instead of sweating it out. And yes, for me, it's like, yeah, it's really the connection to 5-body experience. And the physical body is, yeah, such an, how it is, Genuss, such an delight.
Pleasure, yeah.
Pleasure, thank you, pleasure, and I would not miss it. So this, as we say, as feelings practitioners, our cells are filled with pure joy, all the core of the cells. So I'm running around with millions of load of joy. So, and that's also connected to healing, because I will come more and more and become more and more who I am on this earth, where I come from, for what is my purpose, and that's healing too.
Thank you, Michaela. Is there any last words that you would like to share, or last feelings with the world before we close this?
Yeah, thank you, Annika. I feel really joy to see how many abilities really women have in the whole domain of healing. And so I'm really glad that you take your time and your questions to open the space for the female part in me, so that I can express the everythingness what is there. And yeah, even it's sometimes maybe chaotic, I love it really. So it's so, yeah, transformative, healing, and love in action. So thank you for your love in being a woman, and also bring wisdom to women.
Thank you for your love also, Michaela, and thank you for this space.
Thank you.